Hey guys, so for the past couple of months, I've had an opportunity to sit down with a few people who are involved in promoting Israeli wines in the United States, whether it's PR firms, journalists, people in the Israeli government, and people actually in the wine industry, maybe in the kosher industry, or just in general in the Israeli wine industry. And I'm having these conversations about strategy, right? So they all tell me all across the board that what they want to do is they want to take Israeli wines and they want to go to the sommeliers and to the experts and the restaurateurs and wine enthusiasts and collectors. And what they want to do is they want to show them that, hey, Israeli wines are on par with French wines and Italian and Spanish and Argentinian and the like. And I say to them, I agree with you, but you have to show also Israel's ancient and maybe even contemporary culture from a spiritual and even Torah perspective. And then they come back to me and they tell me, well, listen, like we don't really want to do that so much because you have to speak to the right audiences in their language. So, friends, I'm here to tell you, for those of you listening who are part of those groups that I mentioned, whether you're a PR agent, whether you're in the Israeli government, whether you are just a person looking to promote Israeli wines in the United States, I'm here to tell you that you are going to be successful in the beginning with your strategy, and then after maybe a year and a half, maybe even actually less, you are going to hit a wall. You're going to hit a ceiling in how far you can go with this. Why? Because these sommeliers and these enthusiasts are going to look at these wines, they're going to taste the wines, they're going to like them, and then they're going to say to themselves, well, okay, how much does this wine cost? Let's say there's a $30 Israeli bottle, and you have a comparable, let's say all things being equal, the same level, $15 bottle or $20 bottle or even like a $12 bottle from France or Spain or Italy. They're going to ask the question, why should I pay more for this Israeli bottle? Yeah, okay, fine. Israel makes really good wine. They can compete with the rest of the world. But what is going to compel me, just as a sommelier or as a wine enthusiast or as a, restaurateur, unless I, have to have this Israeli wine, what is really going to compel me to spend that extra 10 or 15 or $20 just because just for this bottle? Because you have to understand the reason it's so expensive. There's a better view of reasons actually why Israeli wines are more expensive. Whether it's the production, right now Israel it's a small country. The production's not not big enough compared to some of these countries. There's also issues with the import prices. Also, a lot of these wines are kosher, so you have extra costs for the wineries. There's a bevy of issues, but the main issue is really production. So how are you going to compel these people to pay extra for the wine? In order to do that, you yourself have to understand this one main premise. This one main idea is that the Jewish people are the only people, Israel is the only country, we're the only nation where wine transcends connoisseurism and it transcends being an Epicureanism. And so, as a result, we have a story to tell. And you have to tell that story. You have to, if you're in the Israeli government, if you're an Israeli winemaker, if you're an Israeli, just a person from Israel who's a wine expert and you're coming to tell people about Israeli wines, you must, it's an absolute must. It doesn't matter who you're speaking to. There is no, so to speak, discernment of audiences. You have to own your own culture. You have to own your own, what it is that is unique to Israel. What's unique to Israel is that the primary thing is that wine is an ancient, as an ethereal, has metaphysical properties, and we've been producing wines for 2,000 years. So now I was told by some of the people, well, we can include the history and all these things, and I say to them, well, you're not going far enough. You have to tell the story of how the wine is connected to our culture, because it's such a unique story. It's such a compelling thing that even the people who are not necessarily, you know, the evangelical Christians or the religious Jews who keep kosher, even the sommeliers and even the PR people and even the enthusiasts and even the collectors, I'm telling you from personal experience, from doing private tastings in private homes of people who are not religious. Some of these people are not even Jewish. And we've, you know, I can post for you guys a link in the description. I actually will post it. And you'll see that people were enthralled by the stories of how the wine is connected to things like Shabbat and, you know, and Purim and Havdalah and Passover and all this kind of stuff. You know, Passover, it's the most celebrated, it's the most, adhered to, so to speak, holiday, even among secular Jews, right? And, you know, they're drinking the 4 cups, so they're buying wine from Israel, specifically red wine. And, you know, these people don't keep, so to speak, halacha, but they're essentially, without even knowing it, they're keeping the halacha of Passover by buying red wine and having 4 cups of wine. And you can't escape that. So, friends, I'm here to tell you, whoever you are, if you're you know, a PR agent promoting Israeli wines, if you're a person just a sommelier yourself, if you're a wine maker, if you're a wine writer, if you're an Israeli government, do not escape yourself. Do not escape yourself. Own your culture. Own what it is that we have here in Israel. Own it. I'm telling you, if you own it, not only are people going to respect you for it, people are going to be, I guess, compelled by it. They're going to be interested in it. They're going to be enchanted by it. On top of that, you are actually going to be able to take wine, Israeli wine, to the next level, because ultimately, without doing that, you're going to hit a wall. I'm telling you, you are going to go to the sommeliers, you're going to go to the wine enthusiasts, you're going to convince them, you're going to make them see. They're going to taste the wines. They will be impressed. They will be impressed. They are impressed already. But there's going to come a point, I don't know when that's going to happen, but there will come a point, sooner or later, they're going to say, well, again, why should I spend $40 for this bottle? It's expensive. I can buy an Italian bottle, Spanish bottle, French bottle for $20. It's going to be an issue of economics. So in order to rise above or transcend economics, you have to give people over what it is that Israel, or what it is that the Jewish people transcend. And what do we transcend when it comes to wine? We transcend this idea of connoisseurism and this idea of Epicureanism. And it goes way deeper than that. And it's something that we can give to the world. And it doesn't matter who it is, whether it's a Jew who keeps kosher, an evangelical Christian who supports Israel, a sommelier, an enthusiast, a collector, whether that person's American or Chinese or French or Italian. This is the greatest story ever told. We have the greatest story ever told. You know, the stuff that's happening right now with Israeli wines is essentially living prophecy. This is stuff that was foretold. I'm not going to go too much into detail. It was told by our prophets, and it's happening. Even the people who are making non-kosher wine in Israel, they don't even realize it, but they're part of prophecy. Even the people who don't believe in the Bible or Tanakh or think it's all made up and it's all, you know, as we say in Yiddish, chaloimes, halumot, dreams. These people are part of prophecy, and they should understand that. Not only understand it, but own it. And the minute you own it, you're going to see what's going to happen. You're going to see that Israeli wine is going to take off as a thing. But not only that, people are going to look at Israel in a different way. It won't be just a wine thing. It'll be something else. People are going to see, okay, well, the Jewish people are back. You know, they're growing the vineyards. You know, as Amos said, the people will return. They're going to build their cities, and you know, they're gonna plant vineyards, and they can drink from the wine. And the wine is going to spread all over the world, just like it spread, you know, in the times of the Roman Empire, where we were giving tribute with wine from Israel to the Roman Empire. So, yeah, friends, whoever you are, just own it. That's it. L'chaim.